Hey, what's up, guys? How y'all doing today? Well, baby, if you are Drake, things are not looking good. But, baby, it was never looking good. If you guys don't know, Drake has been rocked by what? He's been rocked by allegations of what he has going on with the youngins, y'all. Anyway, we scoured the net. We went into all the group chats, to find out what's been going on in Canada, in the LA streets. And y'all, it looks worse than we thought. It looks like Drake is actually facing some legal action. Now, here's the thing. We put together the evidence. We're going to walk you through it. And then in the end, you let me know what you think. But I have to say, the fact that you know what? Let's just get into this because I made a PowerPoint presentation. I will say that the fact that Drake is weirding out ninjas like Future and whatnot it boys into is something dark because there's not many things that may even make Future clutch his pearls. I do also want to say something. Everybody keeps saying, oh my God, why are we focusing on Drake? Because we are taking the culture back. We need it. Then people being like, but oh my God, there's more important things going on in the world. Of course, in the world, there's a billion other things. But this whole notion that the powers that be are trying to distract us with this Drake stuff, I don't think people understand how the powers that be work. They like money, lots of money. Give me out. They like a lot of money. Drake is making them a lot of money. Kim Kardashian is making them a lot of money. I don't think it's in their power that they're actually going to find a way to bankrupt themselves. I think what's going on is people are mad. People don't like what's going on in the world. They don't like the way the government's spending the money. They don't like the fact that there ain't no money. They don't like it that the wealth inequality. And honestly, I think people are sick of people with no talent just coming and flossing. But again, that's just me. Let's get into this PowerPoint presentation about what's going on with Drake. We got some good evidence. We even got some girls from LA that literally were regulars at Drake's house parties. And they said that while they were in high school, baby, if you are between the ages of 18 to 30 years old and you live in Southern California and you are pretty, most likely you had a run in Drake's house. Sorry, y'all. Let's get into this. But first, we got to do a little comedic interlude. Have y'all seen this? Hold on. Turn your volume up. Sorry, let me just run this back really quick. Hold on. So I don't know why I just thought this was so funny. Drake wanted to be one of us. Welcome to the culture. We're going to roast you. So it says, Crash Out Kenny ran Drake out of America and he was never seen again. Hold on. Kendrick went on to be one of the greatest artists of all time. J. Cole is still apologizing to this day, and we never got that album drop. Metro continued to shut up and make drums. And it's gone 5 times now. Anyway, I thought that was funny. All right, let's get into this mess, y'all.
Wait, they said Drake.
All right, so I don't know if some of y'all have seen this. Let me just set it up and cue it up if you guys have not. Okay. This is a young lady that was featured in Ice Spice's video. Okay. Oddly enough, not only does Drake have her around at these Dave and Buster parties he be throwing, right? There's a lot of girls that are saying that Drake be up in Dave and Buster's by himself. I don't know what he's looking for. Is he looking for coupons on the floor, trying to get that blow pop for how many more coupons? Like in Dave and Buster, if you guys aren't from America, Dave and Buster's, it's like an arcade, and all the money you spend, get the tickets. And you get so wrapped up in Dave and Buster's land that by the time you go to cash your tickets in, it's like if you want to buy like a pack of Sour Patch Kids, they want like 50 million, like literally, they're like, that'll be 50,000 coupons. And you're like, well, how much for that blow pop? The lollipop that's like 25%, 25 cents. And they be like, oh yeah, that's gonna be 8,000 coupons. You literally be spending your whole rent in there just to get a pack of Sour Patch Kids. But it's also very, very popular because when you are under 18. Why? Because there's no more malls in America, right? Two, it's a place that your parents can drop you off. You can meet up with your friends. They play music like it's a club, not club, but they play music like it's a club. There's lights everywhere. Everybody and there's arcade stuff going on, and all the guys from your high school are there. So it's like a meetup place. Adults don't, as far as I know, correct me if I'm wrong. And if I am wrong, you need to stop doing this. I don't believe that adults go to Dave and Buster's by themselves. No, you might be going for a fun, date night, out with your friends. Yeah, but I feel like when you're an adult, you meet up with people or you click up with groups or you're celebrating someone's birthday and it's like very nostalgic. I do not believe that grown people walk around Dave and Buster's on their own, baby, unless they into some stranger danger, right? Something tells me when people see Drake, they be screaming, bad touch, bad touch. But all jokes aside, right? So this was a girl. We also have her pictures of her in Dave and Buster's when Drake is buying out Dave and Buster's, hosting Dave and Buster's, okay? This young girl was 17 years old. Now, I know what everybody's saying. The age of consent is Canada is 16, but she lives in America, baby, right? Second of all, you got to start thinking, what if somebody has somebody in this position when they are how old? You got to think, how old were they when they established trust? That's the thing with Millie Bobby. How old was she when Drake established her trust? Honestly, before we get into this, let me just talk about this. How old was Millie Bobby before Drake actually established trust with her? 11, 12? How old was she actually? And for everybody being like, oh my God, nothing happened. They never said that. It's always cool when it's somebody else's child. But what about when it's yours? Are y'all cool with whether you got a boy or a girl when they're 11, 12, or 13? A 30-something-year-old man befriends them, starts texting them, I miss you so much. What's going on? Right? A 37-year-old adult starts giving them advice on dating, whether it's boy or girls, it don't matter, right? They start giving them advice. They're on the phone all the time. They're texting. You see them, they're gushing. Oh my God, they just texted me. They miss me so much. Tell me you wouldn't have lost your MF mind. The fact that people are still trying to act like it's normal when it's not, it's crazy to me. It's crazy. But anyway, this young lady, and again, when I just want to be clear, when I call her dumb, I don't mean like dumb. I mean like the dumb everybody is when they're under 18. They think they know everything. They think they can do everything. And that's why it's the adult's responsibility to be responsible. Again, if somebody was trying to sell crack to 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, no, they old enough. They're old enough. Let them smoke it. They would have been ran out of the neighborhood because people look at that really serious. But when it comes to this, but then again, not y'all, the people in the back. But let's hear into what she has to say because she let some interesting news out. If you have not seen the clip, mainly that it appears she has signed an NDA with Drake. Can you tell me why, right? A 17-year-old has signed a NDA with a grown-ass man. What is she even doing on your team? What is she, a model? Is she social media outreach? Let's get into it. And just to make it worse, Drake's daddy follow her too. I think the apple didn't fall far from the tree. Let's keep going.
Follow you?
Turn the sound. Wait, turn y'all sound up. Actually, let me turn my sound up before I press play. Hold on. All right, let's go.
What we do?
Be honest, what do you think about the Drake allegations?
Yes, speak on it.
Would you let
That's
Drake? Would you let Drake like you?
That's that'll be something I can't confess. I mean, not confess, something I can't talk about because that'll be in the court.
Yeah, that's what I was saying too. Now, let me just pause this really quick, right? Because this is the thing that if you are a woman, especially, you know how it is. Especially, right? If a guy finds you attractive, he will prey on you as early as possible. You think you are in control. You think you know what's going on. Adults may even say, "Oh, you know what you're doing," but you actually don't. Think about yourself when you were 15, 16, 17, 18, right? Look at this smirk on this girl's face, right? He definitely got a type. It's the same smirk that Millie Bobby Brown had her on her face when she was 13, 14, talking about Drake is like a good friend, out of this, that, and the third. What did he ask her? Would you let Drake, boom, boom, instead of just being like, no, or yeah, because this is a podcast and they youngins, right? She's like, I can't speak on that. Now, some people think that she can't speak on that because there's already some type of legal action with this girl. However, it has come out that she has signed some sort of NDA with Drake. Now, here's the real gag about the NDA and how you know that he got youngins around him. If, of course, this can be believed. Drake has not made an official statement, but in his wildly despised comeback, he said, "Nah, it's not true." He say that if it was true, he would be arrested. I know Harvey Weinstein is sitting there being like, I mean, the arrest take time, right? When he said, "I'm too rich to be doing this mess," I know Diddy said, "Well, you know, money comes and goes." But anyway, right? She it has come out now that people are saying that she has signed some type of NDA. Why is a grown man making kids sign NDA? But again, the real gag is, and this is what I'm talking about, if this is true dealing with children. Well, not children, but you know, you get it, right? If this girl until you turn 18, there's no contract that's legally binding. You realize that since 18 is the official age of consent, even if your parents sign you into contract, even if you sign on the dotted line, that contract is not considered ratified by law. Ratified means that it is a legally enforceable binding contract. Now, once you turn 18, if you then agree to the terms of the contract, then it becomes ratified. Okay. That's why people don't like giving people under 18 years old a credit card. Why? You got to be on your mama's account as an authorized user. Why? Because if we give you a credit card and you agree to pay us back and you're under 18, by law, when you turn 18, you can be like, I signed that against my will. I didn't know what I was doing. I was not old enough to consent. So I couldn't consent to the terms. So guess what? And guess what? The credit card will be out of luck. Same thing if you buy a home, buy a car, buy everything. That's why there's such a thing as an emancipated minor. An emancipated minor doesn't mean I can't stand my parents. I mean, most of the time it does mean that, but there's an actual legal ramification behind emancipation. An emancipated minor means that once you are an emancipated, you are considered an adult in the eyes of the law, which means you can enter into rental contracts, credit card contracts. You can actually enter into a legal contract because you have declared yourself in front of the court and the court has evaluated. Even though I am 14, 15, 16, however old I am, I have the mental competency, I believe, to be treated as an 18-year-old. And the court is supposed to evaluate you and say, yeah, yeah, yeah. So my whole point of the matter is, I do not think this youngin I do not think that she is emancipated. So it leads me to my point that if anybody does not have 18 candles on their birthday and they know about stuff that's going on with Jersey Drake, that NDA is non-binding by law. I don't care if you signed it in blood. You can use it for toilet paper. That NDA is worthless. What's more, I believe she probably lives in even if she signed it for Canada, you are an American citizen, so those rules would guide for you. Also in New York, I think they just invalidated any NDAs moving forward, but it isn't proactive. But again, since she's not 18, it wouldn't be an issue. Just an interesting point that if you know anybody under whatever, and there are people taking advantage of them and they think this is an NDA and being sued, they won't. But listen to what she says. And this shows how, if this rumors are true, he's getting away with it. Listen to this mess.
Drake,
What?
you're a
Okay.
victim?
No. Of course not.
Wait,
Again.
so what you said about the why?
Again, the fallacy of youth. So you're a victim. Of course not. And that's how you get away with it. Because when they're at this young age, they feel chosen. They feel special. Think about it. Think about it. One of the biggest, albeit corniest, rap stars in the world is around you, taking you to parties, grabbing your hand, giving you attention. Baby, this is why a lot of people go for people when you're young and dumb, because it don't take much. All it takes is, what is it? The 2 times pay for play with the Dave and Buster's. When they just get you $50 worth of tokens and you be like, I said, my man, he loves me. And all they did was spend $50 on you in tokens and give you the little $20 hamburger meal at Dave and Buster's. And you be swearing, I said, my man, he loves me. Again, I see why they go for it. Let's go.
Why you said it'll be in the court?
Because that'll be something
Oh, you can't speak about it right now?
that I can't speak about. Yeah.
Okay.
First of all,
So she's sitting there with that grin. Any girl or guy, you recognize this grin when
that
you
I
was
can't
that
speak
old.
about. Yeah.
Look at this. Look at that smile. And again, I'm not saying anything inappropriate happened. Well, I'm not saying any blankual in nature happened. I do find it odd that this woman can be believed. There is an NDA that she has signed with somebody at this point, double her age, right? Double her age with a BBL walking around. I find it a little odd, but let's get into this because this is one of the most telling things too. There's a clip from this podcast. You guys have probably seen it. It's in 2019. In 2019, they predicted this would happen. This goes into the thing that we've been saying on the channel for a couple of days. What the hell is Drake into that industry ninjas that were cool chilling around Puff are now distancing themselves and nobody likes you? Again, it makes you think. Let's get into this.
first of all,
This is from the Matt and Shane's secret podcast. They were talking about Jeffrey Epstein, R. Kelly, and oddly enough, this is August 5th, 2019, right? Awash in Propaganda. That's the name of it. You can check out their YouTube channel. August 5th, 2019. Drake's name got bought into a conversation, and a lot of people were confused about it, but listen to how it got bought in the conversation.
R.
So
Kelly's
hard.
missing, dude. What the fuck is
What?
going? What is the R. Kelly's missing?
Kells is missing.
Kells is missing, dude. He Con Aired, and he got away.
What?
Yeah, dude. R. Kelly got away.
That reminds me. I do want to say this. I want to be on the record. Drake's gonna be. He's on that R. Kelly tip.
You think so?
Drizzy Drake likes him young.
What?
He does. It's somewhat known already, but this is one of those things where I want to. You got to say something. Like, remember Louis? That whole thing.
Yeah.
And like we knew about that,
Yeah.
and we were just like, I don't know. Drizzy Drake's into the young ones. He's gonna get got in the next 5 years. Oh, unfortunately, love me some Drizzy Drake, dude. What do you think about Epstein? Definitely.
I think Rich would.
Okay. So again, people can make things up, but people can't travel back in time. And if they can, let me know because I got a few things I want to fix up, right? But all jokes aside, how is it in 2019 these rumors are out there? I also saw this weird fan account that is clearly run by Drake's people. They're all over Twitter talking about some Kendrick Lamar also has a ghostwriter because they pulled up tweets from 2017 where they said Drake is a not certified lover boy. He's a certified PDF file, right? Speaking in YouTube code. They're also saying that there's all these rumors. Now, I know they pulled it up because they thought Kung Fu Kenny needed to steal some lines. Again, they're all about projection. But the one thing that fan account that won't take their L, that's run by Drake's account, keeps pointing out to everybody is the very obvious. These rumors have been around for a while. Even in this podcast saying, hey, Drake, I heard you like them young. Again, Kendrick Lamar is not bringing up anything that apparently the rap streets, haven't been talking to for a while. But this is the most important because there's a lot of young ladies all over TikTok. We could have had this for hours, but instead, I want you to listen to what she had to say because this is the most safe for YouTube version of it. Some people get into really, really deep detail about what is happening at Drake's properties in America. Now, some of you guys might have guessed Drake, a year or two ago, started selling off all his properties. He completely, I believe, has no more property in America. A lot of people said that, and just let me cook on this. The age of consent in America is 18, right? The age of consent in Canada is 16. Now, when you tell someone this is the line, right? Naturally, you're going to have people that play in your face. So if you tell people the age of consent is 18, right? The people that like them young, but still don't want to go to jail, try to play it a little safe. Age of consent 18. So let me play in your face for 17. Let me play in your face for 16. Let me play in your face for 15. Right? They start playing with the face. But they're not going to go, I don't think, maybe even, but they're not going to go much lower than that because, baby, they ain't trying to go to jail. They're trying to stay in that socially acceptable, well, they look like they was grown, even though if you talk to somebody that is 14, 15, So hear me out on this. Drake, the streets are saying, got into a little bit of trouble, a lot of trouble, actually, because if the age of consent is in Canada is 16, then if somebody wanted to play in the law's face, but not actually go something so far that people are like, you monster, then in America, you go 17, 16, 15, 14. Or in Canada, what does that look like? 16. Oh, but I'm going to start playing in your face. 15. Oh, but we still playing in your face. 14. Ah, but I'm still playing. 13. We still playing. 12. See, here's the deal. I believe these rumors, right? And I believe that Drake, probably because he was a child star, he's developmentally stunted. I don't know what it is because I think it's weird that as you get older, the people you're attracted to stay the same age. But I will say this, right? And again, this is just speculation. Of course, we're going to listen to what these people have to say. I believe what they have to say. But I think Drake's problem is, and why he sold all his ish in America, is for two reasons. One, right? He is playing in the Canadian law face, like most people that like him. They go over, but not. They take an inch, but they don't take a mile. This explains the Miley Bobby. Because if 16 is like, yeah, this is my wife, and you could come out and be like slow jamming and nobody even blinks. I don't know what is going on in Canada. Then what's to say if somebody was just 4 years different? What's the difference between, or 3 years difference? But to us, it's a big deal. A lot of things were coming for Drake. Why would he sell his properties? Well, it wouldn't be to evade arrest, right? Because it wouldn't be, because most likely with these type of cases, unfortunately in America, you don't really go to jail for it. You get like community service or this, or you get slaps on the wrist, right? I think it's more about, what does Drake care most about? Fame, money, power, respect. The last one is better, right? Take respect out of it because he can kiss that old girl. But let's look at the money aspect. You know that if you commit, let's just say you are I don't know, Haitian, and you do something in America. And let's just say you're a Haitian billionaire, right? And you have this huge kingdom in America. And let's just say you do something in America and you flee back to your country. Okay. And you stay there, right? Accusations, this and that. Maybe you go and live with Russell Simmons in Bali. Okay. Just let me cook. I'm getting somewhere with this. Maybe you go live with Russell Simmons in Bali, someplace where they can't get you. Okay. But you can post on Instagram looking like Franklin the Turtle, trying to start a cult, talking trash about they trying to bring down black men. Ninja, if you don't bring yourself back to the Southern District of New York and answer for your crimes, shut up. Some yoga pants, just looking like he don't wear deodorant. He just looked like he's just like, no, deodorant's unhealthy. He just looks like it, right? Anyway, so let's just say you have all these things and you go to okay, and you go to you had your stuff. So you run the Bali, but you still have your assets in the US. A lot of people don't know is even though you're in Bali, if I sue you, right, in absentia, which means you're not actually here to answer, and if I can get a judgment from the court, let's just say I sue you and like we send it out, he's hiding, he won't come back, and the judge is like, all right, we see the evidence, he's guilty, next. After that, the jury can award damages. Let's just say the jury awards me $10 million, right? You might laugh and be like, good luck ever getting that. And I will laugh and go back to the court and say, right, you can enter in for your assets to be attached. And what the court will say is, okay, so we found him guilty. There's enough court, blah, 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 blah. He's not fighting it. We awarded you $10 million. Okay, you go to the court and you're like, can you attach his assets? The court will go and you give the court information. This is his bank account. These are his homes. These are his cars. This is the condo in LA. The court will go and send out notices like, yo, you owe this money now. And if you do not pay that money, it doesn't happen instantly, but it does happen. They will force the sale of all the property. The government will seize your property and force the sale of all your property until that debt is satisfied. So I'm going to get that 10 million, whether you pay me or not. I'm going to get that 10 million. Russell Simmons actually thought he was slick with the Kimora Lee stuff because he had gotten rid of, so he thought, all his American assets and he dumped that money into stock. One of the stocks that they're still arguing about is Celsius. That is that energy drink. He gave Kimora, right? And a bunch of other stock. That's where he had liquidated and dumped because he knew that even though he flees to Bali, if anybody finds him guilty, then they can attach his assets for sales and they're going to get the money. So he literally said, I don't want any more assets in America. Much like what Drake's been accused of doing. I'm getting rid of all assets in America because I don't want the court to be able to force a sale and pay victims if they get a conviction in absentia. So what happens, right? Getting back to let me just finish this Russell Simmons thing because it was actually really funny. Karma. So Russell ran and he put all his money into stocks and stuff because he invested in a lot of businesses. So I know what you're thinking, but you can force the sale of stocks too, of course. And Russell knew that. So what did he do? He gave his stocks to Kimora. He literally put them in Kimora's name because at the time it seemed like a good deal. Here's Kimora. She got a rich baby daddy, right? That's a whole other story. I don't know if you know the story about Kimora Lee's husband. Let me know if you want me to tell you because maybe it's good, right? I did a whole video about it. She got a rich baby daddy. She was dating this guy that was living like he was a billionaire. And he was very, very successful, I think, with Goldman Sachs. As a matter of fact, he managed all of Goldman Sachs Asia until, right? And also, I think he thought he hit that jackpot. He's investment. She's going to do this. She's going to flip this money. And I know she'll take good care of it. But it's going to be something good for all our kids. He thought he had it figured out. And he thought he had found a way of evading anybody that would sue him for SA. Unfortunately, Kimora married another man of ill repute and alleged poor character. Him, along with J-Ho, he is that Asian billionaire that was paying Kim Kardashian, Imran, and all this other stuff, like $25,000 an hour to sit with them, right? Kim got paid $250,000 in cash to sit by his side for 3 hours in Vegas, right? In any case, they got indicted by the federal government for robbing the sovereign real estate investment fund of Malaysia. I think, got them for like 7 billion. So apparently, when that happened, they seized all the assets. In order for Kamora's husband to actually get out on bail, she had to put up assets to cover up, whatever bail was. What did Kamora use? She used all the stocks, assets, and everything that Russell had put in her name. She did that. And Russell tried to sue her, and the federal government was like, "Oh, well, we don't know what to tell you because you put it in her name. You sold it to her. You gave it to her, right? You weren't trying to hide assets." And Russell was just sitting there like, Oddly enough, with Kamora Lee's husband, and this is some tea, it came out in the court documents that Kamora Lee's husband wasn't actually her husband. They're not legally married. Why? Because Kamora Lee's husband was already married to 2 other Asian women. He was collecting wives like infinity stones. He was a polygamist. And he was married to at least 2 women at the same time, maybe even 3. I have to go back over the court documents. And the funny thing is, you might think, oh, did Kamora not care? No, he's also seems like he's like a psychopath, which is actually sad because Kamora was like, yo, I heard that like you have like a wife or some situation. And he's like, what are you talking about? No, it's over with her. How dare you? I love you. And she was like, yeah, I don't know if I believe that. Like, can you put me in contact with her so I can talk to her just to make sure things are cool? Because I've been hearing things. So he passed along her email address to Kamora, right? Her and Kamora were chatting for months on end. The girl was like, girl, he loves you. The ex-wife, we've been over for a while. We're divorced. Girl, he loves you. Go, go, go. You better go, gadget and get that. So Kamora blew forward. Y'all, come to find out, Kamora never was talking to the wife. That whole time, that guy made up an email address and was pretending to be his ex-wife, but in reality, the current wife, right? But Kamora ain't know that they were still married, but he was pretending to be the ex-wife, talking to Kamora, appeasing her fears, giving her advice, how to help him. He's like hangry when he comes home. He literally was emailing Kamora for months, pretending to be the ex-wife and giving Kamora dating advice and encouraging her to marry him. Y'all, it was all like some crazy stuff. So then when that got found out, right? When that got found out, and I think I don't know if Kamora found out before court or not. So that happened. But this is another thing. When the wall started closing in and the Malaysian Sovereign Real Estate Investment Fund, it's not even funny. It's actually sick when you think of how much that Kamora and her husband, everybody was flossing on that money, and they were robbing the nation of the money for their real estate development. Okay. But anyway, so like that happened and the walls were closing in and the FBI was like, yo, he knew it was falling down. But see, like every good little con man, he had money in Swiss bank accounts. And if you don't know about Swiss bank accounts, right? Here's the thing. It used to be that nobody could ever get into a Swiss bank account except for the people that ran a Swiss bank account, right? Except for the people that opened it, right? So if it's like my bank account, Swiss bank account, and you're like, I'm Gustavo, open up Tisa's bank account. This is Swiss bank account. They would be like, yeah, we cannot. I shut up. I know this, but this is my Swiss accent. Yeah, we cannot open the account. You are not Tisa, I believe, right? And it was a whole big thing. Okay, so after World War II, and you know what happened with, right? You know what happened with the Third Reich, right? A lot of people hid the money they stole from the people that were massacred, right? Hid the money in the bank accounts. So they went to the World Court and to the Swiss bank accounts, and they were like, yo, this is our stuff and we have proof. Give us. And they were like, yeah, no, we have no account numbers. We cannot. So that's when the Swiss bank accounts changed their laws just a little bit, or they said, you know what? We're still not just going to give anybody access to the bank accounts. But what we will do, right? Because we're not going to volunteer the information because there's supposed to be anonymous bank accounts. That's why back then a lot of people involved in nefarious things wanted Swiss bank accounts. But they said, but you know what we'll do? Just so we're not sanctioned by the world court as aiding and abetting war criminals. They did it for their own thing. You know what we'll do? We're not going to give up any information. But if you know the name of the account, if you know the account, the name of the account and the account holder and the account numbers, then you know what? We will give nations, or if someone's being represented by a nation, you know, like the way they sued in the world court, we will give, sorry guys, we will give you access to the account. So anyway, by this time, they didn't know the Swiss bank account was around. So I believe the court document said that, and this is when I was just like, yo, was Kimora all, I just turned my air conditioning on. Sorry, y'all. I was like, yo, was Kimora like in on this the whole time, or she knew what was going down? Because they then went and he flew to the bank accounts to empty them out, right? And the thing is, one of the bank accounts was in his current wife's name. And Kimora, the government is alleging, flew with him, right, on a passport that had the current wife, not Kimora's name. And Kimora went to the Swiss bank accounts and helped him get into that money. Y'all. Anyway, let's get back on Drake. I just wanted to take you on a little story time, right? Listen. I'm just saying. And listen. What? Anyway, let me get into this. So anyway, let's get into this.
In between.
Okay, so this is a girl. We're getting back into the Drake stuff, right? This is a girl that she grew up in the LA area. Again, this is the most PG-13 version of the stories I can tell, but just listen to what she has to say. This feeds into why Drake sold all his properties and what legal action in America he is actually running from. Let's keep going.
Like 28 and 33 right now, living in LA, who have had interactions with Drake can bring him down. They can be the nail in the coffin. So listen, I went to high school between 2011 and 2015, okay? In that time, and I went to a very rich, white, private high school. And during that time, I heard of girls or girl sisters going to Drake's house. We're in high school, okay? And maybe they weren't freshmen, but still, you're still 16 to maybe 18-year-olds, but you're 16, 17 years old, going to this grown-ass man's house. If you look up his fucking birth year and look up those years, he was between 27 and 29. He was 29 in 2015. So I know that there are a lot of people out there, maybe with some memories, and it's hard to look back on and be like, holy fucking shit, I was a child. And there was a power dynamic, and this is me being taken advantage of. But you guys need to step up and fucking cancel Drake and, like, just end it. Just end his shit.
Okay, so you have, again, that was the most PG version I could find on TikTok. It's all over TikTok of girls telling their experience. Again, you got to look at Baka Not Nice. He is a certified PDF. There's a lot of stuff swirling around. Again, one could argue, well, Drake is just doing what he knows because in Canada, the age of consent is 16. And I saw somebody in the chat being like, yo, the age of this one girl that's on the thing, the girl earlier, she's 17 and the age of consent in Texas is 17. I do want to say two things. It don't matter where the age of consent is. It matters what happens in the state you're actually in. So you can be 17 in Texas, but if something happens in New York, you can sue them in New York. And when you are in a state, you must abide by that state laws. That's like literally getting a ticket for doing 40 miles an hour and you saying, yeah, but over in that highway over there, the speed limit's 55. Okay, but you wasn't on that highway. You were on this highway. And on this highway, if you are a guest in a state legally, you must abide by that state rules. That's how a lot of people get caught up in interstate stuff. It's legal in New York, but then you come to Oklahoma and it's not legal. Do you see what I'm saying? This was bought up a lot when people were like getting in trouble when they were just starting to legalize weed. Yeah, it might be legal in New York, but you go to Oklahoma and they got you sitting behind jail cells. On top of that, right? You got to actually think about what's going on in the high school area, because even if you are on this side of legal, it's still very weird and it's very inappropriate. And I'm not one of those people that believe that, you know how it's like with Tyga and Kylie, as soon as somebody's legal, you grab their hand and you're like, oh my God, we just fell in love yesterday. Man, shut up. Anyway, here's footage of Drake being in the Dave and Buster's, right? Here's video of Drake in Dave and Buster's. At sometimes he is alone. At other times, I think he's even hosted birthday parties for his friends in Dave and Buster's. But again, all over TikTok, people have video about testifying the fact that Drake goes to Dave and Buster's alone. Now, maybe this is his happy place. I don't know. But it's really giving PDF. It's giving PDF, you know? Yeah, let's get into this. Drake was even DJing at Dave and Buster's. Now, here's the thing. Is it illegal to DJ at Dave and Buster's? No. But let's look at habits, patterns, character, right? Drake is a big aficionado of high school women's basketball. I'm sure college, because whatever, but high school women's basketball. He is a lover of Dave and Buster's. He loves befriending young women to give them advice on life and take them under their wing and post on their Instagram page when they say, I'm talking about Billie Eilish, when they say that they're finally 18, literally post, I've been waiting for this. Because, ew, why would you want to do that? And again, just like it don't matter if the girl's home state is 17, unless Drake was in her home state, it don't matter. You are on the rules of New York or the rules of California. Now, again, this goes back into the law, because I got to be real with you. We live in I'm not going to get into like the jurisprudence on the patriarchy and how that's affected. At one point in America, the illegal age of consent, I think, for drinking for women was 16 and for men it was 21. And then people, Google it. Then people got mad. This is back in the day. And the legal age of consent got moved to 18 for women to drink and men for 21. And then when people still kept getting mad, that's when they say, okay, fine, 21 for both people. The laws are very, very weird that they will, especially in some states, that they will approve someone being young in the mind going into a marriage or a relationship that might mess them up for the rest of their lives. But yet, when it comes to voting, you still got to wait till you're 18. When it comes to drinking, you still got to wait for 18. It's almost as if these lawmakers are also PDF files themselves, and they are just making it cool for them and our homies. You know what I'm saying? My point about being is, even if she is 17 and that is the age of consent, it's not the age of consent legally for entering into a contract and for contracts to be ratified. So again, it seems odd, it seems dumb. Why would you make it this and that? But that's actually what it is. So even if he was meeting up before at 17, that NDA, if she did sign it, and it appears she is saying she did, it wouldn't be worth the paper it's written on. She might as well just use that as some Charmin extra dry. Anyway, this is Drake in the Dave and Buster's. He's in Dave and Buster's a lot, sometimes by himself, sometimes with friends. Again, why are you always in places where youngins like to be? This is another person saying, oh my God, so cool. Drake paid for our food and our bills and all this stuff. Why is he just walking around by himself looking like a creep? Again, who is hanging at Dave and Buster's. Again, I know adults go there, but we go there for a fun night out, a thing. We don't go there just to like creep around and be paying people's bills. But I guess it makes sense because if you are a frugal weirdo, right? Imagine what $500 will get you. $500 won't even get you a lazy half a twerk at Magic City, but it could buy out Dave and Buster's and have everybody looking at you like you so cool. Anyway, let's go. Now, oddly enough, and this is the part I think is really weird because 17 can be the age of I don't know. Do you know that Drake's father is also following that girl? Yes, Drake's father is also following her. Um, I put on the thumbnail. I don't know if I included this, right? I put on the thumbnail. We about to get into Drake's father. I put in the thumbnail just to drive the point home. If y'all don't think that Drake be in Dave and Buster's, let me see if I can put this on the screen. 1 second. BBL, BBL Drizzy. What is it? The brains? Hold on, y'all. You don't wonder, no more. 1 second. Where's this pic? Here we go. Put myself on the big screen. Here we go. Here she go right here. This is the same girl that's in the video. She posing on a bike at Dave and Buster's. Again, if you don't think that this is inappropriate, one, I will say to each their own. Two, I will say, may God have mercy on your soul because, baby, you don't got Drake's money to keep this hidden. Anyway, so where did they get this from? One would argue that Drake is the seed of a creep, that the apple doesn't fall far from the creepy tree, because this is Drake's dad in 2019. You think you're going to Drake's party, but you get Dennis instead. This is Drake's father rolling up on women at the party. Hold on, really quick. You guys got to see this. But first, let me say thank you to all the people in the live stream. Makeshift Samantha, what's up? Said, T said, you seen the Drake full broadcast interview on CBC The National? I was laughing. I've been waiting for you to go live. T said, no, I haven't, but I'll go and I'll pull it in a second. Hello, Kitty. And thank you for the super chat, Mixed Hello, Kitty University said, thanks, T said. Thank you so much. Hello, Kitty. Honey Lot says, hey, Tattle Tells. Thank you so much for being a member for 2 months, Honey Lot. We also got Makeshift Samantha. She says, Drake is one of the Dialect is one of the ghostwriters, and he said he wrote back to back. BBL Drizzy needs to stop. Yo, you know BBL Drizzy was about to literally, what do you call it? Colonize the Midwest culture. I'll do a video about that later. I want to stay on pet, but yeah, we got the receipts on that too. Drake ain't nothing but a paid actor. And the funny thing is, he would have gotten away with it if it wasn't for those damn kids. He is a paid actor. Listen, he should have listened to Wayne. Son said he sent the ops to the schoolhouse for girls, PDF. Doree Angel said, yay, teasing alive is the ultimate vibe. Oh, thank you, Doree. And thank you, Sen, so much too for the generous super chats. Makeshift said, that is the only Canadian thing he came over here with was dating minors. It's just gross and I'm positive he's mad corny. There's something wrong with that man. But also, I do believe from Kendrick, when he said, when you look at his old posts and the way he be filming, you can be a prostitute and also indulge in yourself. When he said that Drake was like, I don't know, a woman of the night for many people. Anyway, thank you so much, Big Chicks. Sent for Forearm Heaven. Thank you for becoming a YouTube member. Also, Holly W said, come for the rap beef, stay for the global big listen. Sorry, y'all. Thank you. I know I got off topic, but I had to actually, it's interesting. Ali said, Drake displaying weird, but exactly, it's very weird. It's very inappropriate. And I find these people that's okay with it. I would hope that you had a loved one. It would be a whole different situation. Thank you so much, Allie. Sun said, Dennis is also lurking for young girls in LA. Dennis, honestly, and I'll be real with y'all. Every time I see Drake's dad, it gives me Bill Cosby vibes. I don't know. I'm not saying he is a Bill Cosby. I'm saying he gives Bill Cosby vibes. You know what I'm saying, son? Thank you for the super chat. Pretty and Well said, hi, T said, thank you for keeping your foot on these creeps' neck. R.I.P. Drake, they not like us. Baby, they not like us at all. Okay, so let's get into this with Drake's daddy being a creepazoid. Hold on, y'all.
19, you think you're
Look at this mess. Just look. Hold on, let me take this off the screen. Oh, really quick. Ace Boy Yummy Beer said, young and fresh versus old and rotten. Which one would you choose? I would choose young and fresh versus old and rotten. I would choose blocked, dumb and blocked. How about that? Let's ban this user and delete the comment. What the hell? Just dumb. He must have been a Drake fan. They just dumb, like dumb. What is it? The braids? Just dumb. Anyway, I choose young and fresh or old and rotten. I choose dumb and blocked. We got him out of here. The rest of you weirdos, show yourselves. Show yourselves. Also, Ace Boy Yummy Beer. Thank you so much for the Snapchat before you played yourself and got out of here. Typical Drake fan, no forward thinking, no critical skills. Like, did you think, how am I going to get this one off? Like, it's just, anyway, you got to learn from Kendrick, the slow buildup, methodical, steady me, like make the crowd go crazy. But anyway, let's keep going. This is Drake's daddy. Now, this is a random girl walking in that he just walks up on. Look at the way he's manhandling this girl. Look at this.
19.
Ew. You guys, can we just rewind that? Look at this. For now on, for all my music, I'm going to use Kendrick as my soundtrack since he removed copyright. Thanks, Metro and Kendrick. Dropping a huge favor. Look at this. I think you should ask for more. Look, this is a woman he just met. I'm sorry, I keep rewinding because it just blows my mind. Ew. Ew, yuck. Ugh. Did you see the way he had his face pressed up against hers? This is somebody's father. And that's another thing. Dennis ain't like a Denzel or whatnot. He's somebody that looked like, okay, fine, you 50, but you look like you 35 and you got no. He literally looks like somebody's 68-year-old uncle. He looked like the guy that when they walk in the room, they tell all the girls, why don't you go upstairs, put some clothes on. He looks like one of those people. Ew, face pressed up. This girl just walked in and she's just like, oh my God, like what is going on? Just taken. Listen, they said Dennis porn stashes, all that. SPYDA R35 said Dennis's porn stashes, all the evidence we needed. I know that's right. Fire in the Sky said Drake was sacrificed to hide the prevalence of blank trafficking in the industry. What if Kendrick is a classic case of controlled opposition? Nah, y'all. No. Virgo Earth Angel Terrence said BBL Drizzy. Woo-hoo! BBL. I know that's right. And it's me said, keep up the excellent journalism. Says, let me tell you, thank you so much. It's Mimi. And thank you, Virgo Earth Angel, and it's Mimi and Fire in the Sky and SPYDA R35 for the generous super chats. Let me just say this before we get into more evidence of Drake's creepy ways. And I gotta say this, right? I think that there is something called learned helplessness. And I also think there's something called learned paralysis. And as much as the powers that be can be evil, can be crushing, can do messed up stuff, the one thing that they always are afraid of is that the people will rise up and get sick of them. It's happened in every great empire. It's happened in France. Hell, they take away their pension. They get gully flipping over cars, burning police cars. It's happened all over Europe. It's happened, of course, in Africa. It's happened in Latin America. It's happened in Mexico. It's happened everywhere. I don't know if it's happened in Canada, right? But my whole point of the matter is when you say we the people, is because, let me just cook on this, it's because we actually have numbers. And they know that it don't matter how much military they have. It don't matter how many bombs, it doesn't matter. Because when the people mobilize, they are forced to change. Because at the end of the day, they want to protect the system that feeds them. It's kind of like when you hear about these billionaires talking about, oh, I'm buying a bunker if the world ends. Okay, then who gonna make your breakfast? Who's gonna guard your property? What's your money gonna buy if we're all gone? They actually need us. As much as they try to make it seem like, oh, a life, you need us. You need us. You might not need all of us, but you need us. So what's my point in this, right? I find that there is the whole thing about the powers that be, let this happen. I feel like, and not with you, of course, but I feel like the reason why that narrative is propagated by, in my case, I believe the powers that be, is because they want you to believe that nothing happens without their consent. Now, sometimes they do mark people to be like, and you going down, and you going down, and you going down, right? Because they are playing chess, not checkers. But equally as often, if not more often, the power and the will of the people will let itself be known. The power and the will of the people. It will let itself be known. And one of the ways they make sure that we learn not helplessness, but just apathy, is to make us believe that they are all seeing, they are all knowing. We don't think anything without them putting it in our heads. They don't. If something happens, they allowed it to happen. We didn't take Harvey Weinstein and Jeffrey Epstein down, and Diddy about to go down too, and R. Kelly. No. We didn't. The powers that be decided they would. I find that, and again, it might be true in some cases, but I find it to be incredibly offensive, not from you, but just the actual intellectual idea of it. I find it to be intellectually dishonest, and I find it to be not wholly, but largely in part untrue. We move shit. And when I say we, I mean the working class, the poor, the middle class. We move shit. If we wanted to, we could burn this bitch down right now. If we wanted to stop working right now and everything would crumble. And Bezos and his mill, it wouldn't mean anything. But they have to make us feel like, if we feel like, oh, well, it doesn't matter what happened because you guys choose it, then what does that happen? Next time we see an injustice, next time we see another Diddy, next time we see, let's talk about politicians, right? They've already brainwashed us in thinking, doesn't matter who you vote for. There's just a game of ball. When at the end of the day, our votes are our consent for them to play in our face. You see what I'm saying? So no, I don't think that's what's happening to Drake. I think that this shit has been going around for a while. I think it finally caught up with him. I think times have changed. I think since the purge in 2000, y'all remember what happened and we were all stuck at home. I think people's minds changed. It was a cultural shift, and they're doing what they can right now to rebuild the matrix. But there was a break in the matrix. The things that we accepted prior to 2000 and the things we accept today are completely different. The things we care about, the things we notice. Now, they're trying to get us back on track. That Met Gala, look at this, look at my private jet. You better get back in there. Don't y'all want to work? They're trying to rebuild, right? but the crack's already been there. Things are not the same. What we accepted prior to 2000, even if you look at movies, if you look at reality TV, that cruelty, that viciousness, that blame the victim mentality, it's no longer accepted. So I don't want to get on my soapbox. Y'all know I will. But I will just say that don't let anyone tell you that the reason things happen is because they allow it. Because if that's the case, there wouldn't be, if that's the case, the Capitol wouldn't have been stormed. If that's the case, there wouldn't have been riots in the street pushing for our people's rights. If that's the case, half of France wouldn't be on fire every third Thursday whenever they can't, like, they decide to raise their metro fare 25 cents. The people have so much power. And the easiest way to neutralize somebody with power is to make you think that your vote doesn't mean anything. This doesn't mean anything. And I'm not saying that it's just as easy as like, okay, I'm going to vote and everything crumbles down, but they know it is important. Just like feeling like you have control to take down the rich and powerful will motivate people to move together. You see what I'm saying? Anyway, let me get off because I'm going to be talking about this forever. But let's get back into these blind items. Hold on, y'all, because this is good. Listen, that's right. Mixture Samantha says you better not go to cell block 1. And Natalie K said, pull up GQ magazine 2012 Drake interview. Hold on, let's see what this says. Natalie, we're gonna take your advice. I'll say it. So hold on, 2012 GQ Drake interview. Yeah, but sorry, but I will say that at the end of the day, don't fall for that powers that be. Oh, they're so they control everything. They don't, because if they controlled everything, they wouldn't give a shit. And this YouTube and everything else would be like, just trust me on this one. Anyway. They said the backyard of Drake's mansion is indistinguishable from the set of one of those late night Lifetime softcore romance flicks. Waterfalls gush all around, surging over enormous boulders, bronze animals, lions, elephants, giraffes, checker the lawn. Glimmering in the last light of the San Fernando Valley sun, a giant fire fit for a king from Middle Earth burns in. What is this shit? Let's get to the meat. What are they writing? Fan fiction? First of all, so this is when he lived in California. In the foreground of this lady fantasy table sits Drake, who is 6'1" body of a well-built man with a dodgy eye contact of a teenager, at first anyway. He awaits me on the couch with more chintz pillows than I can count. He's wearing baggy jeans, Jordan, a gray t-shirt. Let me skip through this for y'all. He's a t-shirt accented by 2 long diamond rope necklaces. He forgets that he's 25, sitting on 20 million. At the ready are a bottle of chilled white wine and a pitcher of ice. For tonight, we shall drink wine spritzers, his favorite. What is this? Drake says, if I went down the water slide, right, pointing to his blue lagoon, how amazing would that be for your article? Dreams have come true for Drake. 4 years ago, he was Aubrey Graham in Toronto, stopping only to trip out on text messages from girls or find out what the night's party. Drake's parents split when he was 5. This is boring. Puff teeth, puff teeth. Well, me and my dad were friends. We're cool. I'll never be disappointed again because I don't expect anything anymore from him. I just let him exist, and that's how we get along. We laugh. We have drinks together. But I spent too many nights looking by the window, seeing if the car was going to pull up, and the car never came. Why would you even have this ninja in your house? He's better than me. He identifies with his father and his ability to hustle, to get what he wants while having a good time. What does Drake's father do besides have that mustache and look like he drink too much Strawberry Hill and Boondocks? Anyway, I've never been reckless. It's always calculated. I'm mischievous, but I'm calculated. So as a 15-year-old with a successful acting, he's mischievous, but he's calculated. So this lets you know Drake's not that calculated, because calculated people don't tell you that they're calculating. They just sit there and be like, who, me? I'm dumb. Like, you know what I'm saying? Smart people don't sit there and be like, oh, trust me, I'm smarter than you. No. Just like dumb people don't say, I'm dumb. When somebody says, oh, but I'm very calculating, So you're not calculating. You're very short-sighted. And I believe he proved that in this with the rap with Kendrick. Hold on, I'm almost done this article. I just want y'all to get through this. Hold on. Anyway, Sophie LaRue says, if the feds pick up a case involving SA, the legal age limit for feds, thank you, is 18, no matter what the age limit is in the state where the assault happened. Thank you very much for pointing that out. SPYDA R35 said, listen to a House Atlanta Vegas song. Ooh, very crazy words. Okay. Thank you, Sophie, and thank you, SYPDA. And also, DJ Dale said, how do you explain UMG's top artist being called a PDF file in song number 1 on iTunes and played at ball games? It has to be a lot. What are you talking about? No. Okay, that's a good point. However, I do want to say this. Kanye West was number 1 everywhere. But aside from that, UMG pulled all of their music off of TikTok. You realize that? And TikTok's still standing and that music is still slapping. I think what everybody's kind of overlooking is the fact that it's number 1 on iTunes because everybody ran to listen to it. Just like it got 35 million views on YouTube. It's probably going to be Club Shay Shay by the time it's over. Why is it being played at ball games? Because the DJ likes it. I don't think that people realize how much personal autonomy we have in our lives. The DJ at the ball game is playing it not because Universal Music Group told us. There's no contract with that. They're playing it because they like the song. It's almost like when a song is trending. If UMG could put out songs and just take over, then there would be no other music anywhere from any other labels. There would be no music on TikTok right now. People wouldn't be listening to anything but UMG artists. Now, I will say UMG can force a mediocre artist down our throat, but this is all autonomy. And again, I'm not saying that it didn't happen because who am I? But I'm just pushing back on a counterpoint that with UMG, they are not as powerful as they seem. They own 50% of all music in the world, but they only own, I think, 20 or 25% of the musicians or music in America. Most of the shit they own is from the UK. You realize that it's a Universal Music Group. It's UK. Most of their artists are in the UK. They have a footprint in America, don't get me wrong, but they don't run shit in America, which is why when they pull their music off of TikTok, okay, fine. Okay. We can't do something bad like a Bobby, but otherwise than that, we cool, right? Anyway, y'all, let's get into these blind items. Big Black Crypto. But Deidre, again, to your point, and thank you for the super chat. I could be wrong. I'm just saying it from my point of view. Big Black Crypto said, why do people think attorneys will pursue charges, especially if the public aren't actively putting it on their desk? Mainstream media isn't replaying the receipts. Now, here's the thing. Good point, Big Black Crypto. You have a point, except for because everything in life, just like what Ken just rhymed, there's multiverses. It's layered. It's not as simple as why do people think attorneys will pursue it? Because you're right. In the normal world, but it's just Drake's daddy that work at CVS and the girl that work at Rite Aid, they're not really going to pursue it because it's small potatoes. However, this is the thing that Diddy ran into and the thing that rich people run into. Okay. U.S. attorneys are clout chasers. They are. They're good at what they do. But when I say they're clout chasers, you want to make your career, and also district attorneys and attorney generals, you can make your career by prosecuting a high profile case. And when I say make your career, you can either if you're a district attorney, you can become attorney general. If you're attorney general, you become a U.S. attorney. If you're a U.S. attorney, you can become the top attorney, right? The government's attorney. What did they call that? The U.S. attorney? No, the attorney general, right? No, that's not it. It doesn't matter. let me just cook on this one, right? The point of the matter is sometimes when you see this shit like famous people like, oh, how'd that happen? How'd you get hemmed up? The reason it happened was quite simple. You saw an attorney that was hungry, youngish, that said, F it, I'm going to go and eat my food. Well, eat your food, right? So a lot of times when you see these things and people are hunting and you see like a career politician taken down, it was because the U.S. attorney was like, what? Yeah, I'm going to be on Channel 6 Action News. Again, it's not the only, but it is a layer in prosecution that people often overlook. It's why sometimes with like reality TV stars, you see them all going down because they know they'll get, that they'll actually get TV time. Now, just hear me out on this also. This goes into my point that Deidre was saying and that a lot of people are saying. Again, I stand by this, but I could be wrong. You cannot, it's not the fact that rich people, in this case, or in all cases, but let's talk about the cases where it's not the fact that rich people are trying to set up other rich people and being like, yeah, you out the Illuminati. It's more to the fact that when the masses want blood, the other rich people know that they're involved in shit too. And they're just like, and they just let that shit happen. That is usually what happens. They just let that shit happen. It's not the point that they throw them out. It's the point that you don't have the protection anymore, but it goes back into the power of the people. It goes back into the power of the people. Because at the end of the day, unless you are at the top of the pyramid, and I mean at the top of the pyramid, why would I sacrifice my good thing I have going on to save you? Oh, well, it's musical chairs. The poorest don't like you. They want to go at you. Oh, well, just let you fall. You see what I'm saying? But anyway, that's my opinion. I could be wrong. Carmen Laurie said, it's so sad how our society don't seem to care when minors are violated, but let you take their money. They threw the book at them. Yeah, that is really, really sad about all capitalistic societies. But I think most capitalistic societies cannot and do not value uh, capitalism is built on exploitation. You cannot get rich in capitalism without exploiting others. Now, that changed in social media because advertising dollars, right? But when it comes to when you have a product that you need, a physical product that you need people to consume in order for you, you cannot get ahead of the game. And when I say ahead of the game, I'm talking about just like, oh, look, I'm making $1 million a year. I'm making no, I'm talking about Jeff Bezos ahead of the game. Like you got billions of dollars, you got hundreds of millions. You cannot get that without exploiting someone, paying somebody less than their worth, exploiting the way thing. It is built on exploitation. And I think it starts down from like just what our culture is on. Son said his black card is through a dusty UMG is making. That's true. Dread Mega said, Tisa, YouTube prisons, everybody who has your vote, hit the like button. Oh, thank you so much, Dread Mega. I appreciate that. Okay, you guys, let's get into also what the streets are saying, because I don't know that if you guys heard this, but listen to this. This is Celebrity Blind Items. She's on TikTok. Listen to this. I'll do a separate video where I can post all of them together, but just listen.
Part 2 of a deep dive into all of Drake's blind items from the last 5 years. And I did misspeak in the first part. It is in 2018 where the rumors and allegations of him liking underage girls start to show up. And here is the first one.
Okay, why is this important that I start in the 2018 is because those guys on the Shane podcast said 2019. So the ish has been swirling in the streets for a while, but it's from already starting in 2013, but now we're going into 2018. Let's go.
This one's from September of 2018. I don't think anyone should be shocked. This foreign-born A-plus list one-name singer and rapper conditioned us for his love of underage girls with the 18-year-old he started to seduce when she was 16. So the fact that he went even lower, although disgusting, is something we should have known was coming. And this is allegedly Drake, Jimmy Jam's daughter Bella Harris, and Millie Bobby Brown. This foreign-born A-plus list singer and rapper asked for all kinds of photos from not only the 18-year-old he is dating, but at least 2 other 18-year-old females, and he didn't make sure they were 18 before he started asking. Apparently, in addition to some jail time for his actions towards some underage women, this foreign-born A-list rapper and singer also needs rehab, which he will probably use as an excuse for his recent behavior. And this is allegedly Drake when he was quote-unquote grooming Millie Bobby Brown.
Now, it's interesting to note that Drake has taken little retirements seemingly out the blue where it looks like he's breaking down for a while. Again, let's keep going.
I'm not sure why this foreign-born one-named A-plus list singer and rapper just doesn't call the tour quits at this point and head to rehab. At this point, what he is doing each night is embarrassing, and the constant leaving fans in the lurch is just not nice. That teen who was topless in the dressing room of this foreign-born A-plus list singer and rapper last night was nowhere in the ballpark of being legal. Maybe this foreign-born one-named A-plus list singer and rapper should have told the whole story about his split with a fellow foreign-born A-plus lister, how she caught him more than once with another woman, and his fascination for watching porn involving women wearing pigtails.
That's supposed to be allegedly of Drake and Rihanna. Again, you can say that people are making this mess up, but why? Why? Not cheating, but the PDF accusations. It makes no sense that out the blue from 2013 up to now, people have been making this mess up about you. Not that you're a thief, not that you're a liar, not that you're a cheater, not this, not that. Also, remember when Drake was on tour? I remember around that time, and he kept getting stupid injuries. And I just thought he just didn't have coordination. I say that because I am a member of the Rhythmless Nation, you know. I can do a little bop, right? But I'm still trying to learn to sea walk off of TikTok, right? But it just makes you wonder, why is all this stuff constantly coming up about you? And again, sometimes where there's smoke, there's fire, because if you remember all the blind items coming out from Diddy from 2006 till now, they've all been saying the same thing.
And this is allegedly Drake and Rihanna. This one's a little bit longer, so I will reveal the names as I read it.
Okay.
It's called Two Worlds. There is an interesting dynamic going on in the world of music right now, sick and disgusting, but interesting in how it divides. Apparently, if you are a follower of this one named permanent A-list singer, and by follower, I mean attend his parties, work with his producers and guest talent, then that means you are more of a lover of underage boys. And this is allegedly Usher. This whole group is dedicated to finding young male talent and then, quote-unquote, developing them. Yes, that A-list singer was one of them, and that is allegedly Justin Bieber. He, in turn, has brought them several others. The other group, led by this foreign-born one-named permanent A-list singer, Drake, generally tends to attract followers who like finding and quote-unquote developing underage females. They like to model themselves after R. Kelly and his quote-unquote development of Aaliyah. They are all about getting these teens under their control, both schmexually and musically. They even informally call their group LMK after the song Let Me Know, which featured R. Kelly and Aaliyah. You will often see it written on their shoes to let people know they are a member of that group. Stick around for part 3.
I got part 3, but really quick, I want to just read these because I actually did look up the lyrics too. Kevin Johnson said, seriously, Houston, Atlanta, Vegas, verse 3 is messed up. Thank you so much for the super chat. Let's see what it says. It says, we all got dreams and we all start reaching. All start peaking, all star weekend. One hotel room that y'all sleep in. Housekeeper knocked to see if y'all decent. Young girls envy the life y'all leading. Never satisfied with nice, calm evening. You be at the games looking right all season, but you always with me on the night y'all leaving. Act slow, I'll always request you. You go get effed up and we just show up at your rescue. Carry you inside, get you some water and undress you. I give you my all and the next morning you'll forget who. or why or how or when. Tonight is probably about to happen all over again. And she lived in a mindset that I could never move to until you find yourself. It's impossible to lose you because I never had you, although I would be glad to. I'd probably go and tattoo your name on my heart. I swear I start to think that I'm going crazy. Ew. Did he make a slow jam romance song for SA? Yuck. Young girls envy the life y'all lead in, never satisfied with nice, calm evening. You go get effed up, and we just show up at your rescue, carry you inside, get you some water, and undress you. I give you my all, and the next morning you'll forget who or why or how or when. Tonight is probably about to happen all over again. Yeah, this is, yeah, and it go, hey, now, watch her go down. Oh. Ew, he is such a creep. Ew. Okay, let's get back into hold on, y'all. Natalie Case said Drake admits he's a liar and a manipulator. That article, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. No, I read that and I completely no, listen. I get that and I completely agree with you, Natalia. Thank you so much for the super chat. I will say this. What the hell? Drake is a weirdo. Oh, if only I know he's sitting there just being like, why did I do it? Emil Carcy said Cat Williams called that 2024 has been fireworks. It has. It has. Also, Habituala Condulce said, have you listened to the new BBL merengue, Miss? El BBL. Drake, El BBL. Drake, yes. Already got played on Hot 97 and hit on the TikTok. Look it up. El BBL. El BBL. I was looking it up. That was a banger. Also, Shepherd of Fire, thank you so much. Said Drake used to mean serpent or dragon or owl. For OVO is for Bohemian Grove ties, when the owl is supposed to be for wisdom and knowledge. Okay, that's right, Shepherd of Fire. School me. I did not know that. Thank you for looking out. Listen, let's get back into a few others, right?
Here is part 3 of a deep dive into all of Drake's blind items from the last 5 years. We are in October of 2018. This foreign-born A-plus list rapper and singer is headed for a massive fall. Unlike others in his profession who seem to be able to hook up with underage boys and girls without impunity, his misdeeds are going to get a huge spotlight. From November of 2018, someone who would definitely know from her side says this foreign-born A-list singer did ask this underage actress for sexy pictures. And this is allegedly Drake and Millie Bobby Brown.
You can't tell me.
One rapist is off the street. The next step is to get this celebrity serial rapist off the street, and that is Ian Connor. I have written about him before, and he hasn't slowed down at all. The thing is now he has the support of this foreign-born A-plus singer and rapper and former actor, Drake, who also supported Tekashi and also enjoys underage women. Our serial rapist is also being given support by the former A-plus list rapper who also supported Tekashi and thinks of the serial rapist as a best friend and protege. Women everywhere have complained and called him out by name when it comes to grape, but the people mentioned above tell women he is okay, and then they end up getting graped by him.
Ooh.
And again, this is allegedly Ian Connor, Drake, and Kanye West. Apparently, this very underage actress did send the foreign-born A-plus lister revealing photos of herself. Not naked, but really close. And this is allegedly Millie Bobby Brown. In December of 2018, apparently this foreign-born A-plus list singer and rapper has been sending photos to this former A-plus list rapper. The photos are a series of 3 to 4 that our one-name singer took of the wife of the former A-plus list rapper in various states of undress. And this is allegedly Drake, Kim Kardashian, and Kanye West. In January of 2019, most
Now,
of
oddly enough, this stuff was going on why they were actually warring in the streets. So it's just really, really weird. But let's keep going.
the time, concert venue staff and promoters don't do anything when a performer brings someone underage backstage or even cares what happens to them. Most of the time, even this foreign-born A-plus list rapper couldn't do at a recent event because it happened at a casino. He was told no certain times the minor had to leave the area immediately. No one is willing to risk a casino license. The thing is, now the casino is 50-50 whether the rapper will ever be invited back to perform. And this is allegedly Drake at Encore Las Vegas.
I remember when this one happened too. Again, why is all this stuff leaking out? And don't forget, this was out before anybody knew about his friendship with Millie Bobby. Interesting enough.
Stick around for part 4.
Let's do one more. Let's do one more, people. And then I'll post all of them. I think there's 9 parts. I'll post them on the channel.
All of Drake's blind items from the last 5 years. We are in March of 2019. This one named foreign-born A-plus lister should be asking himself if people will stop playing his music too because of all of the underage females he has groomed. The one named foreign-born A-plus list rapper is still pursuing the way underage foreign-born actress and is just so public about it that no one really calls him out on it at all.
Millie Bobby is from, I believe, the UK. That's why they keep calling her foreign.
And this is allegedly Millie Bobby Brown. In May of 2019, how creepy is it that this foreign-born 3-named underage actress had a personal fitting of her clothes while in the presence of the foreign-born A-plus list rapper and singer who has been creeping on her for well over a year? And this is also allegedly Millie Bobby Brown.
Again, where are these blind items coming from? If you guys just heard, she had a fitting for clothes. So it's the assistants, it's the valets, it's the drivers, it's the DPs on set, it's the craft, it's the people at the parties, it's the bartenders, it's the waitresses. They were all over town like they were a couple. And this is the thing. If you believe the Millie Bobby Brown stuff, then that opens up a whole world, because if you are willing to do that, Drake has never been faithful. So that means that there are a bunch of other people. It's just gross. Let's keep going.
In August of 2019, someone should have checked the ID of the female that was escorted to the room of the foreign-born one-named A-list singer and rapper. Those at the hotel who got a look at her said she looked super young. In September of 2019, this one-named A-plus list foreign-born singer and rapper had to write 2 separate checks this past month to keep 2 women from talking about what he did to them last year when they were 16 and 17, respectively. In October of 2019,
16 and 17 respectively, he had to write settlement checks. Now, you guys know all over the internet, Drake is a big settler, but let's keep going.
This foreign-born one-named A-plus list singer and rapper who used to act was hitting on this foreign-born one-named A-plus list singer. Nope, the rapper and singer brought somebody who was probably 18 but dressed to look 14 or 15. And this is allegedly Drake and Rihanna. In November of 2019, as much as this momager would love for the one named north of the border A-plus lister to be interested in her daughter, it isn't going to happen, no matter how much she leaks to the press otherwise. The momager has visions of being his manager and 10%, but nope, he sees what happened to the former A-plus lister and the dead careers of half a dozen others who got swallowed in that black hole. And this is allegedly Kris Jenner, Drake, and Kylie Jenner.
Oddly enough, for Kylie Jenner, do y'all remember when Drake actually played the F out of Kylie Jenner? Do y'all remember that? Where he literally, I'll do that in the next video. Let's keep going.
In a couple of weeks, when the
But he
A-list
publicly
singer who
disrespected
came
her.
out of nowhere in 2019 turns 18, the foreign-born A-plus list one-named rapper and singer will probably stop talking to her. But for now, they are very good quote-unquote friends. And this is again, allegedly, Millie Bobby Brown. This foreign-born one-named rapper and singer is A+/A-list and is the latest in a long line of celebrities who think they can open up a place to eat and people will flock to it because of the name and then watch it go down in flames. I'm actually surprised he didn't try to open an arcade or something to have dozens of underage girls to get to know. This foreign-born one-named A-list singer and rapper said
He didn't open an arcade. He doesn't need to. He goes to Dave & Buster's.
he doesn't choose the extras for his videos. That is correct. However, if there is someone he wants to spend time with, he will trade a spot in a video for what he wants and encourages those close to him to do the same. Stick around for part 5.
Part 5. Hold on, y'all. I'll put this in separate videos too, just in case.
If you watch my Drake deep dive or have been keeping up with the blind items for some time, you'll know that Drake...
Okay. So anyway, you guys, listen, I'll put this in a different video. I got to get out of here because y'all know I have more videos to post. Hopefully this will be a heavy upload day. Also, really quick, can you guys let me know? Put a 1 in the comments if you... Put a 1 in the comments. Put a 1 in the comments if you prefer live. Put a 2 in the comments if you prefer pre-recorded if you're watching this with playback. Also, can you guys hit the like button so we can grow? And put a 3 in the comments if you prefer both. Okay? Yeah. If you're watching this with playback, and please hit the like button on your way out if you are watching this in playback. I would appreciate, I am trying to grow this year. And I would appreciate all that. But like all jokes aside, baby, Drake selling his assets, people predicting this. You got people under NDA and the way everybody has moved away from you. Now, I've heard on the Joe Budden podcast and a few other things, Joe thinks that it's like powers that be that are striking. And maybe, I don't know. I was never a rapper. Maybe he knows the industry better than me. But it actually might be the fact that even people that are regular slime balls are looking at the mess that Drake is into, and everybody wants to get away. Regardless, I find it odd that Drake is being very, very, very quiet. Really quick, Cassie Joe said, "Oh, thank you for the live. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that." Cassie, Cozy Joe, thank you so much for that. Anyway, you guys, if you could hit the like button, I know y'all be OVOing me out of here. Anyway, you guys, let me know what you think in the comments. I'll talk to y'all later. I'll try to go live a little later, but I will talk to y'all later. And also Mixshift Samantha and also Kosi, thank you so much for becoming a member for a month. Mixshift Samantha said, Drake looks like a sloth. His brain works how they move. Dear Lord. He said, don't forget to watch that interview. I am 100% going to watch the interview, Samantha, 100%. And I'll probably go live to talk about it. Also, put a 1 in, no, actually put a 4 in the comments. Are you guys going to be online this weekend or are y'all chilling out, enjoying some of that sunny weather? I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to like take it easy this weekend or keep posting. It depends on whether y'all are going to be out in those streets. Because if you're going to be out in those streets, put a 5 if you are going to be out in the streets, but you're still going to be paying attention to YouTube. Oh, wait, y'all going to be out in the sunny weather. Chris is like, I'm in the streets. Andrew's in the streets too. Totes Jazzy is in the streets. Forte, yo. Y'all gonna be out in the streets. Broom gonna be in the streets. Marilyn gonna be in the streets. Doreen said, I'm in the streets. Mixed Chick's gonna be in the streets too. That's what I thought. All right, it might be, listen, y'all gonna be in the streets. Okay, cool. So it's gonna be a light upload weekend. What am I saying? I'll still upload, but y'all gonna be in the streets. Son said he'll be around. All right. Betty, okay. Betty Booty Baby said, post. It's raining here. Okay, you know what? I'm going to post a little this weekend since y'all going to be out in those streets. All right, y'all. Let me know what you think in the comments. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.